a monetary situation being directly connected to a pre-established situation. Like, I came here, I got this building was here, I got the job, everybody was already here, and I just kind of fit into that.
You don't get the right vehicle, if you don't have the right people around you, if you don't have the right vision.
You can lay it out in front of them, but they're not. They don't have this the framework.
Good. This is good.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's sad to see, but that's the society we live in. And for those few people, because here's the thing, people think that we need every single person. Like, I run through the numbers, man. I get people, I talk to people all the time that just have absolutely no hope for themselves. And the thing is, I'm not looking for those people. I'm looking for the select few people that get it, that's willing to step out their comfort zone, that's willing to take it to the next level. And that's all we gotta do is get those people. Hey, what's going on, man? It's Shaquille Wiggins. You already know, I've been telling you guys about this movement that we've been setting forth. You know, we got a lot of people getting excited about it. I'm actually sitting here with a phenomenal gentleman right now. This guy is absolutely incredible. You know, I'm gonna kind of let you guys know who he is, and I'm gonna allow him to let you know why he decided to not just partner with us, but take this thing to the next level and cast his vision. This is Mr. Cavario H, a phenomenal guy. I mean, his track record is ridiculous. You know, very intelligent brother. This guy, I mean, if somebody's anybody, this guy know him, right? Not just know him, but you know, he's a senior editor of Hip Hop Weekly, also the person who started Don Diva magazine. So I mean, he got a great deal of accomplishments under his belt. Wrote several books. You know, doing very, very well for himself. So, you know, I'm kind of want to ask you, why would somebody of your caliber, why would somebody with your level of success and access to certain resources and a strong network want to get involved with such an endeavor like Novae?
For that very reason. In life, you want to try to maximize all of your resources. So yes, I have tremendous relationships, like great relationships with a lot of people, a lot of very well-known people, a lot of famous people. And you know, I've been able to leverage those relationships in the past to bring my products to prominence, like Don Diva. You know, I was able to build that to what it was once the premier urban publication in the country, and I was able to do that because of the relationships that I was able to create with the people who had the greatest degree of influence.
Absolutely.
You know, so I figured once I was introduced to this sort of business, I immediately saw a relationship, you know, between my ability to create relationships with people, to initiate relationships with people, and to bring across, to bridge information that would make a difference in people's lives, to be able to help people to improve their financial condition. Because I mean, I have a lot of mentees, great many mentees. You know?
Absolutely.
And I've always tried to encourage them to take a better path than my initial path, and which I was fortunate to survive. And at the end of the day, words are nice. Inspiring people is nice. But if you can't give someone something practical that they can take and really make a different choice with, they have to go to what they know.
Right. So that's very true. That's very true, and I agree completely. You know, I've actually mentored a lot of people as well, and you always have to not just give them the encouraging words, but provide something that they can actually apply to, right? So, like, where do you see something like Novae going? Like, where is it going for you? What do you foresee in the future for this endeavor?
Man, first of all, I see Novae, as young as it is, I've seen enough to know when something has the potential to be the biggest.
Absolutely.
I saw that in 50, which is why I put him on the cover of Don Diva magazine well before people knew who he was. And I saw that in Jeezy. That's why I put him on the cover of Don Diva magazine well before people knew who he was. Same thing with T.I. I'm able to see the potentiality in the situation, and and I'm confident with my mind, you know, to say, makes sense to me, and why wait until it happens? You know,
Absolutely.
and Novae is that type of situation. Makes sense to me. I wasn't about to wait until it happens to go, see, I was right again. No, thank you.
Absolutely.
You know, I wish I had invested in 50 and in Jeezy and T.I. the way that I, you know, took the opportunity to invest in Novae. I mean, aside from the relationships that I established with them, you know what I mean? It would have been, if I had said, you know what, let me, you know, put more of my time specifically into you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm sure that my bottom line would be a lot brighter.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But Novae's gonna take care of that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna make that happen. So as far as you building your team, as far as you building your organization, what are your goals? What are you looking to take? Where are you looking to take this?
Nationally, then internationally. I'm looking to build an organization of bright and driven, intelligent young people, you know, and not so young people who want to improve their lives and want to be paid to help other people improve their lives. I mean, really, it's a, not for nothing, and not to sound corny, but it's a really make the world a better place type of deal.
Right.
Seriously,
Absolutely.
because, you know, people who don't have financial woes are happier people, and the more happy people you have, the better, you know, social condition you have, you know.
Absolutely.
And what we have now is largely the other condition, the opposite side of that coin. And I've seen enough misery and suffering, and I'd like to make as large a contribution to the opposite. I want to see people grow and maximize their potential and live their lives as opposed to surviving their lives.
I mean, that's definitely great information. So let me ask you, what would you say to anybody who's watching this video, who may have been watching our movement, who's interested? What would you say to the person who's just on the fence and don't know what it is they should do?
I would say that being on the fence is not a reaction that's particular to this opportunity. If you're a person who's inclined to be on the fence, to be indecisive, if you're indecisive in this instance, you're probably indecisive in general. The quality of your life will be decided by the quality of your decision making. And if you're old enough and functional enough to be able to watch this video, then you probably already know that. You can look at the decisions you've made up till now, and you can directly connect those decisions with the condition you find yourself in right now. If that condition is not what you want it to be, then know that you're a decision away from changing it. So, you know, this reminds me of the communications that I had and the interactions I had with, you know, have still and have had with different mentees of mine. One that many of you would be familiar with, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this with you, is 50 Cent. And in early 2003, when 50 was just getting his situation with Dre, we were introduced by a common acquaintance of Sean Money's. And I went down to the Violator office, and 50 and I had a conversation. And that conversation was the beginning of our friendship. And in that conversation, we talked, and we established a relationship where he felt comfortable deferring to me about different situations that were starting to quickly come to him, because he was a hot property already, and an album hadn't even been, you know, completed or even created. And so we communicated frequently, very frequently. We talked all the time, we text all the time. I gave him a lot of advice that I found practical, and the way he took that advice and put it to work made me feel comfortable enough to give him a book that at the time I coveted. When I carried this book was given to me by a young lady named Deirdre, who used to be Snoop Dogg's road manager. Me and her and Snoop, Daz, Nate, may he rest, we were all at the Electric Lady Studio on 8th Street in New York, in the Village. And you know, after just chopping it up for a while, she was like, you know what, I got a book I think you would like. And this was winter 2000. And she gave me this book, and I felt, you know, that the book was pretty good. It was pretty interesting, and I thought it had some practical use. But I thought it was the kind of thing that not everybody should be exposed to. And so, you know, I kept it to myself for a while. And then, you know, I met 50, and he was the first person that I gave this book to. And the book was called The 48 Laws of Power. And what you saw as you saw him become the behemoth that he became, not just as an artist, but as a business person, everything that you saw him do were all reflective of the tactics and approaches that were spoken about and espoused upon in the 48 Laws of Power. And of course, many of you may be familiar with the fact that he hooked up with Robert Greene some years later and created the 50th Law. The consummate student, you know, a person who is able to adapt and adopt. And that is about being able to make a decision. If 50 had been on the fence about receiving the information, you wouldn't know who I'm talking about right now. Your greatness is a moment away from you. It's a decision away from you. Those thoughts that you have in your mind about who you are and what you deserve and the difference between that and the reality, that difference is bridged by a decision. And the best decision you can make is always an informed one. This situation, this Novae situation, what Novae has created, it is about that. It is about, one, inspiring you to believe that you can have and be whatever it is you think that you can have and be. It's about informing you and giving you the practical information with which you can make that decision. And then ultimately it's about giving you the opportunity to apply that information and that inspiration and become a behemoth.
Right, right. So basically, right now we have a movement. Right now we have a wave of people that are very sharp, that are already headed to greatness, right? And we're allowing people who want to be great as well to not just have interactions with people like yourself or like a lot of other successful people involved, but an opportunity to take their life to the next level. Being that you mentored so many successful people, even before they were the success that we know them for, what would you say to a person that's thinking about getting started or ready to get everything rolling, but just don't have the confidence or don't know what will happen next if they got involved or afraid to lose something?
Fear is a major obstacle. And at the end of the day, everything that you just said, it's all fear. You know, the fear of losing something, the fear of failing, you know, maybe not even having the money, you know. Right. The only thing that'll keep you, because if you didn't have the money to keep your lights on, you'd be more afraid of your lights going off and being in the dark than you would be of the discomfort you might have to experience getting the money to do it.
Right.
Right? So at the end of the day, the only real obstacle that they face is their fear. But that fear is really just a lack of confidence. You got to know that people are doing it. I'm doing it, he's doing it, people are doing it. So there's nothing to be afraid of. There's been a lot of things that you've encountered in your life that you were afraid of, and you did it anyway because maybe the situation was something you didn't have an option for. You had to do it, right, despite the fear. So I'm saying the fear in situations where you have no choice but to do it anyway, and the fear in situations where you have a choice, is the same fear. It has the same degree of power, and that's whatever degree you give it.
True. That's some good stuff, man. So we're gonna wrap it up with that. I hope you guys really tuned in. This is a phenomenal guy. Definitely knows his stuff. So you guys make sure you lock in and get in contact with the information in the bio.